Hey there, it's Carrie Rhodes here with Not Too Shabby. Today I'm going to be showing you a super fun project, and it's so easy, and you can do this with a 6x6 paper pad, and you don't even have to cut the paper if you don't want to. This is the January Paper Pad Club for Not Too Shabby. Every month they come out with a paper pad collection. You can subscribe to this, you can buy it one time, and you can add ephemera to it, and I'm going to use that ephemera today. You're going to need a few tools to do this project, like a scoring board I'm using here, but you could use a paper cutter with the scoring blade. I am going to use a crease tool. I am going to use a corner rounder and a circle punch. Now you could work around all of these things, but this is what I'm using and I find them to be very helpful. All right, so I have out the Arctic Critters paper pad. I kind of flipped through it, picked out some papers that I liked, and then a pattern that I thought would go nice with it. Now, one thing I really like is simple patterns. And so when I have a really busy one, I do like to then pair it with something a little less busy. So that's what I'm looking for here. And also I want to make sure that the back side of the papers work, because actually 3 different patterns are going to show up in today's project. So I got to make sure it all kind of goes together the way that I want. So now I'm scoring this 6x6 piece at 2.5 inches, and I'm going to do the same thing with the second piece. So super easy. Just remember 2.5 inches. So now we have our 2 pieces, and we're going to corner round those corners on all 4 sides. Now, you don't have to do this part. You could totally do this with some straight regular corners, but I like them rounded. And I did catch this idea from another video that I watched years ago. It's always stuck with me. I've really liked it, so I'm sharing with you my version. All right, so now I'm using my crease tool to really press on those scored lines, and then we're just going to try to figure out how we want to put these together to create an envelope. Okay, so you can see me here interlocking them and deciding which do I want to show. One thing to take note is when you have directional papers, some of the patterns will be upside down just by nature of this project. We'll do some workarounds with that in a little bit. All right, so next I want to cut a notch into my envelope. So like wherever the pocket's going to be, I'll have this little notch, and I'm using a circle punch to do that. You could also use a die. You could cut it by hand. Like, you don't have to have the punch, right? All right, so I did that on both ends, and I just used my scoring platform there to create a mark at 3 inches so I could easily center that. Now we're going to use some 1/8 of an inch score tape to put this together. You could always use liquid glue. I thought the tape is like the best for this, but you know, whatever you like is fine. All right, so now I've made sure not to go over the scored line when I'm doing this. I just find it easier to not go over that, but I don't really think it would matter. And then I'm using my crease tool to make sure that is pressed down. So now you can see I have an envelope with a pocket on the front and a pocket on the back. All right, now I want to show you kind of a different way that you can put these together. Like, it's super easy, but I did the same exact thing. I had 2 6x6 pattern pieces of paper and scored each of them at 2.5 inches, and now I corner rounded them. All right, so what I'm going to do here is cut those in half. Now I have 2 pieces that are 3 inches by 6 inches, and or actually 4 pieces. So I can create now 2 mini envelopes. So this is cutting the paper, but like I said, to get this idea, you don't have to use a paper cutter. You don't have to cut your paper to make these, but if you want to take it up a notch, I love to show you other ways to use my ideas. So here I am going to make these miniature envelopes, little like pouches, and they are super cute. And what I love about them the most is that they actually fit a gift card. I mean, aren't we always looking for ideas and ways to gift our gift cards that are super cute? This is one of those ways. All right, so I have done the same thing, used this 1/4 of an inch score tape, and I have a pocket on the front, a pocket on the back. My gift card fits in there perfectly. So here's the second one. I just reversed the papers, but when reversing them, you can see one of the patterns is upside down. So we're going to get back to that, but I wanted to show you one more way to put these together. And this, like I said, again, so super easy. I've done the same exact thing. Two 6x6 pieces of paper scored at 2.5 inches. So then I just figured out how I wanted these to fit together. And once I had that figured out, I'm going to go ahead and do some additional steps, rounding the corners, notching things, and covering up the flap that has the upside down pattern. So I just cut a piece of paper so that it was 2.5 inches by 6 inches, the exact size of the front flap, and glued that down. So there you can see I won't have that upside down pattern. I am making a mark at 3 inches, coming back in with my circle punch and punching out that opening. This is a 1.5 inch punch, I believe, and it is just perfect for this. But again, you could go bigger or smaller, whatever punch you have. All right, so you can see my patterned paper that I put on the front, that pink paper, sticks out a little bit, but it won't ever show, so it's okay. Now, when I'm putting this one together, I'm not putting it all the way at the scored line. I moved it up so the scored line on the top flap is lined up with the 7-inch mark. And then I have a front pocket or a back pocket, and then the inside is actually the perfect size for an A2 card. Isn't that awesome? So this now is an envelope that fits the kind of cards we make all the time. But now we're just going to go back. We're going to decorate these up. That's the fun part is, adding the embellishments and making them pretty, right? So that's what we're going to do. And we're using the ephemera pack that you can add on to this paper pad club. It has lots of sea life, Arctic animals. It's got these florals, and the florals are in the pattern paper, and they're also on the ephemera. So then you can really match things up. I am putting this little floral arrangement together, and that's going to go on the outer flap of my envelope. And once I have it all glued together how I like. And then I'm going to create a second little floral arrangement, and that will go on the back of my envelope. I think that these can serve a lot of different purposes, these envelopes, and besides just putting a card in there, but you could also put a custom sized card in this envelope, but I'll show you how I'm going to use it because I think you could send some fun things in here, besides gift cards. So here I am adding those floral arrangements on to dress up the envelope. I especially like this one on that polka dot paper. So good. All right, I felt like I needed almost like I wanted to mount this flower on a shadow layer, but I didn't have that because, it's ephemera pieced together. So I did a little outline with a Copic gray marker, and that was cool, but it bled through. So I'm going to make another piece here that's going to cover that up and just be a fun addition to the inside. I decided I would add another rose, and this would be a really cool spot to write a little personalized message. So here's a little crafty goodness for you so you can, what do I say? Yeah, you can have a few moments of creative time away. That's what I said. And then I thought I would share some of this ephemera because you get more than one of each piece. And then for the outside flap, I cut 3 pieces of the paper that matches this envelope. And it's going to fit in there when you cut it to 5.5 inches by 3 inches. So these would work great for A2 size cards. I'm going to tie it up with some organza type ribbon. And that will be a nice pretty way to gift this. And then I'm even going to make a personalized name tag for this little envelope. I'm going to hang it on that ribbon. So I'm taking one of the ephemera pieces that's a circle with a little line detail. I'm using a flosser, like a flosser helper, to pull my twine through, and then the twine is what I'm going to use to attach this right to that bow. And then I have a personalized tag to give this away, and the envelope is all pretty, plus it matches all the good things that I gave inside. Okay, next I am going to do a very basic little addition to this envelope that's going to hold a card, and I just took that Arctic Adventure ephemera piece and added a floral piece to each corner. Glued it down, making sure not to get any glue on the bottom part so it did not seal up my envelope. And then I've got a fun envelope that matches my card. If you missed the making of this card, it is in our hop video that we did as a design team to celebrate this January release at Not Too Shabby. All right, I have another piece here that I'm going to put on the inside. I have the measurements there up on the screen. I believe it's 2 3/4 by 2 1/4 to cover up that upside down pattern. Now with the gift card in, you wouldn't have to do that lower part, but I decided I would show you that just in case you want to do it. I did have to make it a little bit more narrow because of the inside piece has that adhesive strips, so it made it a little bit more narrow of a pocket, but still I think it works. I added a little penguin on the inside, and on the outside I pulled a stamp from my stash that says sending warm wishes, and I thought that fit on there perfectly. It kind of went with the theme with the Arctic animals, and also I feel both of these should be gift cards for like Starbucks or somewhere like that, but the gift cards that I'm using in the video are used. I like to save them for projects where I'm planning gift card holders, and then I have some on hand to like see how it works and all of that. So these are not the ones I will actually give away. All right, I used a little Velcro there to keep it closed, and it's really thin Velcro. One time I saw them at the store on clearance, and I bought all them that they had at the store. So I have these for days, but it's just really thin Velcro. I'm sure you can find in lots of different places. I am creating a little almost like tag to go in the back pocket of this one. I thought that would be a really fun addition. Anytime that I have these little pieces, I have put the measurements on the screen, even if I'm not saying them. In case you want to recreate this, you can get those measurements and do that for yourself. All right, so there is the little, the first little gift card holder, and all dressed up. For the second one, I have a piece of glitter paper I put right across the middle of that flap, and then I added my little walrus. It's popped up on foam squares. I love that little walrus with the flowers. It's so cute. I am punching holes right on that scored line, and this one is going to also have some ribbon, but I'm going to use the ribbon as like a handle for this. It's so very cute. I think this makes it a lot more playful. It'd be really fun to give to a little kiddo with, you know, a gift card in it for maybe you'd take them out for hot cocoa or something. Ice cream. That would be good too. All right, so then I'm adding one of those inside flap pieces to cover up the ends of the ribbon and the Velcro. Now, this Velcro I have is clear, and especially the scratchy side is like completely clear. You almost can't even tell it's there. So I love that. But the Velcro is a really fun way to have these close up, and it's something that a person could obviously reuse and, you know, regift with a gift card in it for someone they like too. All right, so then I stamped sending warm wishes on the bottom of that one, and I decided this needed another walrus because they're so cute, and I had one more flower left. I glued to their head, and then this little dot that I'm putting on is like the fallout piece from punching the hole for the ribbon, and it was the perfect addition for the center of that flower. All right, so there he is, so cute, and here's all 4 of the little pouches that I made, and I have to say this really is like the easiest thing you can do with 6x6 paper. I think they're really fun little envelopes to make, and you can customize them just by, you know, how you adhere them together. So very cool, and, you know, cut them up. Make different sizes. Have lots of fun with this, but let me know if you decide to make this project because I think they're lots of fun. And I hope you enjoyed today's video, maybe learned a little something, and if you're new to the Not Too Shabby channel, feel free to subscribe and also come find us on Facebook and Instagram too. We'll be back very soon with more videos right here for you. We'll see you then. Happy stamping. Bye.